I'm from Ethiopia. I was brought up in Addis. Actually, I lived in Addis for almost my life when I was back home. Um, I was born in a very small village. It's in a way in the outskirts of Addis. I'm from a very humble family background. Even sometimes people got amazed that I'm involved in politics coming from that kind of familiar background. My father, he was a military man. Actually, he was a pensioner when I was born, and my mother was a housewife. And in Ethiopian standard, our family was not that extended, even though we faced a lot of challenge in terms of material success and everything. I was able to receive, a good deal of love from my parents, and I lived in that kind of environment. And of course, we had a very good community with a very strong societal ties. And in a way, my neighbors and people living with us were like family members in many ways. So I was from that kind of environment. In my family, even in my community, there were not too many people who succeeded in professional life, and I didn't have a chance to look into so many alternatives and options I have. But as I already tried to tell you, our community was fascinating. Our community life was fascinating for me, and the way we should treat each other, the way we handle our affairs, our common affairs in a society was, a subject of fascination, even though it was not that, articulated or so. But so I was interested in law, and actually I had a chance to know that there was a judge in the Supreme Court of the country. She was the only one in the bench when I watched some episode in the public television broadcast. So I was excited to see her in that kind of position. Of course, justice was one of the basic ideals. I was fascinated about. I think that was maybe the drive who kind of led me to join the law school in Addis Ababa University.